A college student was so frustrated by forgetting his USB drive that he built a $4 billion company to solve the problem. Then Google, Microsoft, and Apple copied his idea, gave it away for free, and almost destroyed him. This is the price of being first. In 2007, Drew Houston was on a bus from Boston to New York when he realized he'd forgotten his USB thumb drive. He couldn't work on his code during the 4-hour trip. He was furious at himself for forgetting it again, so he spent the bus ride writing code for a solution. Software that would sync files across all his devices automatically through the internet. By the time the bus arrived, he had a rough prototype of what would become Dropbox. Within 5 years, Dropbox had 100 million users and was valued at $4 billion. They'd created an entirely new category of consumer software, cloud storage that just worked. No technical knowledge required. Drop a file in a folder and it appeared on all your devices like magic. Tech giants noticed they'd been working on cloud storage for years, but could you make it simple enough for normal people? Dropbox cracked the code, so Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon decided to compete. They had billions of dollars, existing user bases, and integration with their operating systems. They gave away storage for free that Dropbox charged for. Suddenly, the innovative startup that created the market was fighting for survival against the biggest companies in technology. By 2024, Dropbox is still around with 700 million registered users and $2 billion in annual revenue, but they're irrelevant to most people. Google Drive, iCloud, and OneDrive dominate. Dropbox went from pioneer to afterthought in just a decade. This is the story of how Dropbox invented cloud storage, achieved massive success, and then watched the tech giants steal their idea and their market. It is about the brutal reality that being first and best doesn't guarantee victory when you competing against companies with infinite resources and monopolistic advantages. Drew Houston grew up in Massachusetts, obsessed with computers. He started coding as a kid, and by his 20s was already a talented programmer. While studying at MIT, he tried multiple startup ideas that went nowhere. He was searching for a problem worth solving. The USB drive incident on that bus in 2007 gave him the problem. Everyone was dealing with files scattered across multiple computers. You'd work on a document on your desktop, email it to yourself, download it on your laptop, make changes, forget which version was current, and end up with files named final_version_3_final_really_this_time. Cloud storage existed, but it was clunky. Services like Mozy and Carbonite focused on backup, not syncing. They were slow and complex. You had to manually upload files through web interfaces. It felt like work. Houston wanted something invisible. A folder on your computer that automatically syncs to the cloud and all your other devices. No uploading, no downloading, no thinking. Just seamless synchronization. He built the initial version himself and showed it to potential investors. They were skeptical. Venture capitalists asked why they should invest when giants like Microsoft and Google could easily build the same thing. Houston's answer was that the giants had tried and failed. Microsoft had Windows Live Mesh. Google had Google Briefcase. Apple had iDisk. All of them were terrible, slow, unreliable, and complicated. Users hated them. Houston believed he could build something better because he was focused on solving one problem perfectly, rather than bolting file sync onto existing products as an afterthought. One investor believed him. Paul Graham, founder of Y Combinator, accepted Dropbox into the prestigious startup accelerator in 2007. Graham saw that Houston had solved a problem everyone had and built a solution that actually worked. He invested $15,000. Houston brought on his MIT friend, Arush Ferdowsi, as co-founder. They moved to San Francisco and started building Dropbox full-time. The technical challenge was significant. Syncing files across devices reliably is harder than it sounds. What happens when someone edits a file on 2 different computers simultaneously? How do you handle large files without consuming all the bandwidth? How do you make it fast enough that people don't notice it's happening? Houston and Ferdowsi spent months perfecting the technology. They used a clever system that only synced the parts of files that changed rather than uploading entire files every time. This made Dropbox faster and more efficient than competitors. But they faced a chicken and egg problem. Dropbox was only valuable if you had multiple devices or wanted to share files with others. But getting people to try new software is hard. Houston needed a way to demonstrate Dropbox's value quickly. In March 2008, he created a simple video showing how Dropbox worked. The video is posted on Hacker News, a tech community forum. Overnight, 75,000 people signed up for the private beta. Dropbox's waiting list went from 5,000 to 75,000 people in one day just from a 3-minute video. This viral moment taught Houston something important. If you showed people how Dropbox worked, they immediately understood why they needed it. The challenge was getting that first impression. Dropbox's solution was a genius referral program. Give users 500 megabytes of storage. If they wanted more, they could pay, or they could invite friends. For every friend who joined, both the referrer and the new user got extra free storage. This created exponential growth. Users recruited their friends and family because it gave them something valuable, and those new users recruited their friends. The referral program was incredibly effective. Dropbox's user base exploded with minimal marketing spending. By 2009, they had 4 million users. By 2011, 50 million. By 2013, 100 million. Growth was almost entirely organic, driven by word of mouth and the referral program. This kind of viral growth is every startup's dream. Dropbox achieved it by building something people genuinely loved and giving them incentives to share it. The product experience was also exceptional. Installing Dropbox was simple. It created a folder on your computer. Anything you put in that folder automatically synced. There was a small icon in your menu bar showing sync status. That was it. No complicated settings or confusing interfaces. Your files just appeared everywhere. This simplicity was revolutionary. Previous cloud storage solutions required you to think about uploading and downloading. Dropbox made it feel like your files existed everywhere simultaneously. Dropbox also nailed the sharing experience. You could share folders with other people, and everyone would see the same files updated in real time. This became essential for teams collaborating on projects. Before Dropbox, people emailed attachments back and forth, leading to version control nightmares. With Dropbox, everyone worked on the same files automatically kept in sync. It was so simple and obvious in retrospect, but nobody had done it well before. The company raised money easily as their growth proved the concept. Sequoia Capital invested in 2008. By 2011, Dropbox raised money at a $4 billion valuation. Drew Houston was in his 20s and had built one of the most promising startups in Silicon Valley. Dropbox had solved a problem that affected billions of people. Their future looked unlimited, but storm clouds were gathering. In 2011, Steve Jobs invited Houston to Apple headquarters. Jobs wanted to acquire Dropbox. Houston declined, believing Dropbox could be much bigger, independently. Jobs reportedly got angry and told Houston that Apple would compete with Dropbox and crush them. He wasn't bluffing. In 2011, Apple launched iCloud with deep integration into macOS. And your photos, documents, and data automatically synced across Apple devices. It wasn't as good as Dropbox initially, but it was free for the first 5 gigabytes and built into the operating system. Google launched Google Drive in 2012, offering 15 gigabytes free. Drive integrated with Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, letting people create and collaborate on documents directly in the cloud. Microsoft launched OneDrive, integrating it with Windows and Office. Amazon had Amazon Cloud Drive. Suddenly, Dropbox wasn't competing against startups. They were competing against every major tech company, all of whom had massive advantages. These competitors could bundle cloud storage with their other services and give it away practically free because they made money elsewhere. Apple made money selling iPhones and Macs. Google made money from advertising. Microsoft made money from enterprise software. They could afford to lose money on cloud storage to lock users into their ecosystems. Dropbox made money only from cloud storage subscriptions. They couldn't afford to give away unlimited storage. The tech giants also had distribution advantages. iCloud was default on every iPhone and Mac. Google Drive was pushed to every Android user and anyone with a Gmail account. OneDrive was built into Windows. Dropbox had to convince people to download and install software competing with solutions already on their devices. This is an incredibly difficult position. Dropbox's response was to focus on being better. They believed that if their product was significantly superior, people would choose them over free alternatives. They invested heavily in features. They added automatic photos uploads from phones. They created Paper, a collaborative document editor to compete with Google Docs. They built features for businesses like admin controls, security, and compliance tools. They acquired companies to add capabilities like e-signature through Hellisen. But better wasn't enough. For most consumers, free and good enough beats paid in better. iCloud worked fine for most iPhone users. Why pay for Dropbox? Google Drive gave 15 gigabytes free compared to Dropbox's 2 gigabytes. For casual users, Google's offering was more generous. Microsoft bundled Office 365 subscriptions with 1 terabyte of OneDrive storage. If you were already paying for Office, why pay for Dropbox too? Dropbox found themselves in a brutal price war. They couldn't win. Free is a really hard price to compete against. Dropbox tried increasing their free tier through referrals, but they couldn't match the deep pockets of Google and Microsoft. They tried competing on features, but the gap narrowed every year. They tried focusing on user experience, but iCloud and OneDrive got better over time. The market was also changing. In 2007, when Houston had his idea, most people had one computer. By the mid-2010s, the problem Dropbox solved became less urgent for many consumers. Photos automatically backed up to iCloud or Google Photos. Documents lived in Google Docs or Office 365. The use case for syncing files across devices became less common as more work moved into web browsers and mobile apps rather than files on computers. Dropbox realized their future wasn't in consumer cloud storage. The market was too competitive and margins too thin. They needed to focus on business customers. Companies would pay for better tools, security, and admin features. Enterprise customers had bigger storage needs and were less price sensitive than consumers. Dropbox Business launched in 2011 and by 2015 was generating significant revenue. The pivot to business was necessary but difficult. Selling to businesses requires sales teams, customer support, security certifications, and compliance with regulations. Dropbox had to build entirely new capabilities. They hired salespeople, opened offices around the world, and invested in enterprise features. The culture shifted from a scrappy startup to a more traditional software company. Dropbox went public in 2018 at a valuation of about $9 billion. The IPO was seen as successful, though the valuation was lower than the $10 billion they'd been valued at in private funding rounds. The public markets were skeptical about Dropbox's ability to compete long-term against the tech giants. The stock price has fluctuated significantly since then, reflecting ongoing concerns about growth and competition. Have you ever tried to email a large file to yourself? It's a nightmare, right? Well, back in 2007, an MIT student named Drew Houston got so fed up with this exact problem that he decided to build a solution. He forgot his USB drive one too many times and started coding what would become a billion-dollar company right on a bus from Boston to New York. That company was Dropbox. The idea was simple but revolutionary. A magic folder. Any file you put in it would instantly appear on all your devices. No more emailing attachments to yourself. No more carrying around flash drives. Drew teamed up with his friend Arash Ferdowsi, and together they launched a simple demo video. The response was insane. Their beta waiting list exploded from 5,000 to 75,000 people overnight. This created a viral growth engine that was unstoppable. By 2011, they had 25 million users, and by 2018, they went public with a valuation of over $9 billion. But as Dropbox soared, the giants of the tech world woke up. Google launched Google Drive, Microsoft integrated OneDrive into Windows, and Apple rolled out Suddenly, Dropbox wasn't just competing with other startups. It was fighting for survival against companies that could offer massive amounts of storage for free, bundled to the operating systems people used every day. This is the classic David versus Goliath story of the tech world. How can a focused, single-product company compete with giants who can afford to lose money on a service just to keep you in their ecosystem? Dropbox responded by pivoting. They shifted their focus from individual consumers to business collaboration, introducing tools like Dropbox, Paper, and new features for teams. They knew they couldn't win on price or storage space alone. so they doubled down on what made them great in the first place, creating a smooth, intuitive, and powerful collaborative experience. The story of Dropbox is a powerful lesson for every startup. It shows that a simple solution to a common problem can grow into a massive success. But it also serves as a cautionary tale. In the world of tech, even if you're the first, you have to keep innovating, because the giants are always watching. You have to find your unique value and defend it relentlessly. Dropbox. This journey from a bus ride idea to a public company fighting tech titans is a masterclass in startup strategy and survival. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of tech. See you in the next one. Have you ever forgotten your USB drive for a big presentation? Drew Houston, the founder of Dropbox, sure did. And that simple, frustrating moment sparked an idea that would change how billions of people interact with their files. This is the bittersweet story of Dropbox, a tale of brilliant innovation and the harsh reality of competing against giants. Drew Houston solved a problem we all had. He created a magical folder that just worked, syncing files across all our devices effortlessly. People absolutely loved it. Dropbox built a multi-billion-dollar company, created an entirely new category, and made cloud storage simple, reliable, and ubiquitous. These are incredible achievements. In many ways, Dropbox made the digital world better for everyone. But here's a twist. The rewards didn't quite match the innovation. Dropbox proved there was a massive market for cloud storage, and then watched as competitors with huge structural advantages swooped in and took most of it. Think about it. Google Drive, Apple's iCloud, Microsoft's OneDrive. These services now dominate the space. Today, the company that invented mainstream cloud storage holds maybe 10% of the market. To anyone under 25, Dropbox might just seem like that old service their parents used. This reveals a tough truth about the tech industry. The platform owners, the companies that control operating systems and app stores, like Apple, Google, and Microsoft, have an overwhelming advantage. They can bundle their own storage solutions directly into their phones and computers. They can integrate them seamlessly with their other popular services. They can even offer it for free to get you hooked. An independent software company, no matter how innovative, struggles to compete long-term against that kind of power. Dropbox's biggest mistake, if you can even call it that, was solving a problem that was simply too important for the tech giants to ignore. If they had built a smaller, more niche tool, maybe they could have owned that space forever. But file storage and syncing is absolutely central to modern computing. Once Dropbox proved that people desperately wanted it, it was inevitable that the giants would enter the ring. And when giants compete, startups usually get caught in the crossfire. There's a powerful lesson here for anyone with a big idea. You can build something amazing, grow incredibly fast, and maybe sell to a giant before they decide to build it themselves. Or you can find a niche so specific that the big players don't care about it. The riskiest path is building a service that relies entirely on someone else's platform, because the owner of that platform can always decide to become your direct competitor overnight. Now, don't get me wrong, Drew Houston is a billionaire. He built a company that truly changed how we work and employs thousands of people. By any reasonable measure, Dropbox is a massive success. But it is also a cautionary tale about the limits of innovation when you do unhave platform power. Dropbox literally invented cloud storage as we know it today. They made it delightful to use. They proved the market existed, and in doing so, they forced the tech giants to step up their game and improve their own offerings. Billions of us benefit from Dropbox's original vision every single day, even if we're using Google Drive or iCloud. That's Dropbox's true legacy. They changed computing forever, but the idea went mainstream so fast that its own creator couldn't capture all the rewards. In the world of tech, being first and being the best isn't always enough. You need a sustainable, competitive advantage. This usually means controlling a platform, creating powerful network effects that lock in users, or serving a market that's just too small for the giants to bother with. Dropbox had a fantastic product and a huge market that the giants desperately wanted. That combination is both a blessing and a curse. The blessing is, you can build a huge company. The curse is you'll always be in a fight with opponents who can outspend and outlast you. Today, Dropbox survives. It's not defeated, but it is diminished. They've found a solid niche serving businesses that value their specific features and focus. The company is profitable and stable, but the dream of becoming the next transformative tech giant faded when Apple, Google, and Microsoft decided cloud storage was too important to leave to a startup. And that's the price of innovation in a world dominated by platforms. You can change the world, but someone else might end up owning it. Thanks for watching. If you found this story interesting, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the world of tech. See you next time.